Hello, I'm Elizabeth Barry. Welcome to Design Your Mind to Be Kind, the course. I am passionate, excited, and thrilled beyond belief to take you through this incredible course that helps you find your path to happiness. And what is your path to happiness? Well, that's up for your interpretation. Now, I truly believe that at any age you can speak and act from your highest source, and you can gain self-belief, you can gain confidence, and you can become an influence to everyone around you, including yourself. You see, the courage that lives beyond your fear is the bravery you never knew you had until it arrives. And I'm hoping that it will arrive as we take this course together, because if you have the eyes to see love, if you have the hands to come together with faith, if you have the breath to feel fully alive, the ears to hear the beckoning call of your spirit, and the heart that yearns to heal and to grow, this course is going to change you in many ways, to become a powerful speaker, to be an active listener. We're going to challenge our habits. We're going to embrace change together. We're going to create boundaries and forces around us that allow us to be healthy and free as we nurture ourselves and nurture our relationships, because you can break free from your habits. I'm going to show you how through the 3 habits of effective communicators, which are fly above, speak your truth, and to catch yourself, as well as the 6 personalities to embody your highest self, all developed within this course. This is kind of like a spiritual journey, right? I want you to think about finding your purpose. So I'll ask you now, is your purpose lost? Does it feel like it's far away? And are you yearning to discover the new you? Are you yearning to speak from the heart? And if so, I want you to embrace the idea of continuous lifelong learning. No matter how old you are, where you live, what title you own, there should never be a ceiling for your learning, right? Because if many of you are hitting a ceiling where you feel like you're bored or you're lost or you're stuck or your purpose is unavailable, you're probably hitting this imaginary ceiling. And my hope with this course is that you break through that ceiling, because we're continuously learning together. And I heard someone say, it was a really great quote, that someone else's ceiling could be your floor, right? So if you're trying to get up here and someone else is there, but you're using their floor to keep going higher, you see, this is where the value of the kindness innovation comes into play. This is the value of designing your mind to be kind, because we are consistently surrounded by people. And now those surroundings, those connections, those relationships can be lethal. And by lethal, I just mean that they can really bring us down sometimes. So the power of this work is when you take the best parts of yourself and apply them to the way that you speak, the way that you behave, and the way that you listen. You know, sometimes it takes a gentle quieting of the mind to hear the voice of the soul's desire. And I'm sure that you're going to be finding that out well beyond this course when you implement the work. And this is all a part of our personal development journey. This is a journey for self-discovery and nurturing your relationships, and maybe taking a lot of advice into your business. Whether you're an entrepreneur or you work for someone else, business performance skills, soft skills, as we learned in the Kind Communicator course, being able to speak like a leader takes a lot of oomph. It takes a lot of courage to stand for what you believe in, and to do so kindly, directly, thoughtfully. You know, and there's an extra bonus here of spirituality, right? There's this intrigue of how to open the spirit so that there is a spirit that shines within you as you speak, because the power to choose, you have the power to choose the way that you show up. You have the power to choose what you say. You have the power to choose how you say it. The choice lives within you. And the reason why we do this work in the first place is because there are a lot of breakdowns. And most breakdowns, I'm willing to bet that most breakdown is a breakdown in a communication. If you're upset with someone, if there is a problem, or if there's an obstacle, most likely it's coming from the way that we communicate, or the way that we hear, or the way that we assume or judge, or past hurts and pains coming into play. So design your mind to be kind is really owning awareness in real time, in the now, in the present moment. And when you could do that, when you put this work into play, into your life, into your relationships, you're going to see a ripple effect of this work, right? This ripple effect where you're going to be able to touch people in ways that maybe you never thought were possible. It all comes from raising your standards. And when you raise your standards, people will meet you where you're at. If you're operating from a place that's maybe down here right now, but you want to operate from a higher level, from a higher standard, from a higher perspective and way of being, when you go from here to here, people are going to meet you there, and they're going to be inspired and motivated. Now, whether you're a CEO coming to this course to have a more compassionate approach to running your business, if you're a manager and you're looking to speak to your teams or your employees within a kinder manner, if you are an employee or a coworker and you're looking to design your mind to be kind so that you can treat other people with more respect, if you're a lover or if you have a partner and you decided that you want to be a better partner, whether it's in a marriage or a loving relationship, I encourage you to take in the listening skills that you'll receive from this course. Most importantly, as you work on yourself, I want you to honor your commitment to your highest self. Honor that commitment and work through the frustrations of going beyond the pressures of the ego to be a certain way. You see, this is the path to finding happiness that I'm talking about. The path to finding happiness is discovering your purpose again through what? Through motivation, through inspiration. And sometimes we can look to motivate and inspire from within. And that's really where I want you to find this inner withinness, right? So we're going to be talking about this infinity sign so if we can imagine it here, imagine there's an infinity sign that is crossing at the throat chakra, circling around the head, crossing again at the throat chakra, and then circling around at the heart, repeating this pattern over and over again. This is where your withinness comes from. This is where the cycling of thoughts and breath and your heart set and your spirituality can start to reside. This positivity looping over and over again. And I ask that you have a rose quartz with this course so that when you design your mind to be kind, there's this rose chorus that follows the path of the infinity sign that loops around the heart and loops around the mind. You see, rose quartz is a symbol of compassion and tenderness. It's a sign of heart healing and nourishment for the mind and the body so that you can speak like a leader and have that compassion and that empathy so that you show up with just a little bit more of a touch of class, with a touch of integrity and dignity. And just like infinity continues on forever, this work works best when it is repeated, when it is practiced, when it becomes a lifestyle, when it has a habitual practice to it. The habitual neural pathways in the brain will start to change when you catch yourself, fly above, and speak your truth. Again, those 3 habits are going to come up a lot in this course alongside of the 6 personalities. And that's where you start to find your purpose again. Right? You start to see possibility when you open up and design your mind to be kind. And this can take place in your friendships. It's going to take place in your relationships, in your business connections, and of course, in your personal happiness and in your heart. It comes from owning your flaws. Own your flaws and take stock of, okay, what is the ego telling you to do? And now that we know how to go beyond the ego, hopefully you started with the Kind Communicator course, you can say, I don't have to own that anymore. And the way that you do that is by taking a breath, taking part in more life pauses. And with more life pauses, there's a chance to respond instead of react. And know that it's okay to mess up. Have that cognitive awareness that mistakes are there for us to dust off and get back up, to rise again. Letting things go and being okay with them teach us the power of going beyond the ego so that we can have a real-time apology with another person, or in fact have some self-forgiveness for ourselves. What is this called? It's called habit changing. This process of habit changing, although tedious, will be reflective of that inner inspiration and motivation, that never-ending infinity loop of positivity that will be influential to your lifelong success, your happiness, and your relationships. And that includes the relationship with yourself and other people. And I hope that you're ready, because there is so much to learn in this course. Change can only be applied and brought to the surface when you're ready. So I know that you're up for the challenge. You invested in this course. When you're ready, you're willing to put up with your own BS, right? When you're ready, you're able to sit down at the table and sit with your BS stories and say, okay, I'm not going to own you anymore. We have to have a conversation, right? Part of this work is having that hard conversation. I know that you have made mistakes. I know that you're frustrated, you're angry, you're anxious, you're fearful, you project onto people. Wow. I know that you're overreactive and you're insecure, and you continue with these BS stories. And these are the kind of conversations that I want you to be having with yourself and your BS stories, to say, I'm not going to own you anymore. I'm going to acknowledge that you're there. I'm going to acknowledge that I have these flaws and I repeat these habits, but I'm going to be a master of my personal growth and development. And I want you to know that some habits are easy to change and some are harder. So please be gentle with yourself, because habits they have these tendencies to kind of show up when we're tested or when we're triggered. And the bad habits are things that we tend to repeat, sometimes consciously and sometimes unwillingly and unknowingly. Sometimes you don't even know that you have a bad habit. And that's really where real power of this work comes in. And throughout this course for Design Your Mind to Be Kind, we're going to learn a little bit about awareness and what awareness means. That's going to help you with any anxiety that you have, any stress that you're currently putting onto yourself so that you might be suffering on purpose, and that you can break through of all the limitations, and quite possibly, and most importantly, look back at any regrets that you may have had and own them. And instead of being upset with them, turn that regret into a positive learning lesson, to say, that was a little hard for me to go through, but I understand why I had to be there in that moment in time. And that is truly the way that you're going to empower yourself. It was when you're going to communicate like a boss, when you communicate with ease and more love. That's what Design Your Mind to Be Kind really is. And you're going to wake up every morning. The world arrives daily. You must be ready to greet her. I'll repeat that again. The world arrives daily. You must be ready to greet her. There are ways to do that by creating positive intentions and affirmations. So as we start this course, I'll ask you to take a pen or a marker or a pencil handy right now. Maybe you have a phone handy and you just want to jot something down. I prefer that you write it, because writing really helps us get out a little bit more than typing. And I kind of want to stay away from the digital platform with this course. I want you to focus on writing out your heart's desires. So if you have a moment now, just create one positive intention for yourself for this course. What is one positive intention that you can make for this course? Is it to find your path to happiness? You can repeat the subtitle of the book. If you want to speak like a leader, if you want to connect with your relationships in a deeper, more intimate way, What is that one positive intention? And you can pause it here if you haven't gotten to that yet, and then you can always repeat. So moving on, having that positive intention, I want you to place your palms together here. It's like our Anjali Mudra in yoga, putting your hands together and just have faith. And this is not in a religious sense, like they kind of look like a praying mantis here. And the word mantis in Greek stands for prophet or seer, right? Prophet or seer. This is faith to know that you can see yourself beyond your flaws. Faith to have the prophecy and the self-prophecy to say, I can be a better communicator. And just like the praying mantis blends into their surroundings, I want you to become one with the world, become one with patience and bravery, being grounded and still balanced and free, like the praying mantis blending in, just being still and calm. You know, this is a new chance for all of us to not only change our habits, but to create new habits. We just started with our intention. We started with a little praying mantis faith. What about if you can start every morning with the words, good morning, even if it was to yourself? Good morning, Elizabeth. Good morning, Butler. That's my cat's name. If you can actively say good morning to yourself out loud or in your head when you wake up, that's a wonderful way to start a positive affirmation for the day. If you have a partner, start to wish them a good morning. All of these little habits make a difference over time. You see, the world gifts you with another day. The world is ready to greet you. Be ready to open your hands to her. Her presence is your presence. Be grateful to be alive by practicing this work, by sharing in the opportunity to speak with compassion, to act with compassion, to have eye contact with people. That shows off such great energy, right? This is greeting the world with love every day, with an open mind and an open heart. And perhaps most importantly, especially if you're a reactor, especially if you're someone who is easily rattled, having a calmer voice. The sun rises each day. It is your choice to rise with her. And when I say rise with her, I ask you to rise to the occasion, to know the difference between who you are now and who you are becoming. And by the end of this course, I know that you're going to see a lot of changes in yourself in positive ways, and you can let go of some of those habits. One of the things that'll come up a lot in this course of designing the mind to be kind is putting up boundaries, right? If you're an allower is someone who could also be called a people pleaser, right? An allower is someone who disregards boundary setting and could really easily open themselves up to get hurt or to be walked on, or just to allow everybody to make you upset. And I'll tell you that no one can make you upset but you. It's our choice to put up some healthy boundaries, and to do this in real time takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of work to do, but in this moment at hand, in this peaceful presence that we have together, I asked that you smile, you pause, you breathe. And we're going to talk a little bit about smile and breath throughout this course. It's a sign of self-love. It might sound silly, or it might feel silly at first for you to be smiling and breathing with me in this course, but it's a chance for you to heal. And it's a chance for you to recover, chance to begin again anew. I also would like to make a suggestion that you journal with this course. And again, if you want, or if you feel comfortable journaling with your phone or with a computer, that's great. But I would make a point to maybe journal with an extra book and a pen. And I'd like to think of this journaling as digging for gold, because when you go digging for gold, you may just find what you're looking for in your words. Because when your heart starts to speak through the hands, right, we're going to start to understand the inner balance between what's going on, the shifting on the inside of how you feel and how you think, matched with the body's physiology. There's this really beautiful transformation effect that you can see, just this pouring out, kind of like a fountain that's spewing out love and also receiving a little bit more love. And that's where the calmer voice comes in. I know it's a lot to take on, but this is the introduction to one of the most fascinating courses that I know you're going to take in your life, so that you can open and design your mind to be kind. And I'll end with this beautiful saying: when you empty out the vessel, there's a space to fill it up, and you can fill it up with anything. I'll repeat that. Think of yourself as a vessel, a grand ship, taking this journey, charting this course to design your mind to be kind. Put my hands in prayer. You can put your hands in your praying mantis position. Again, this has nothing to do with faith or spiritual. It has a lot to do with faith and spirituality, but it's not religious. When you empty out the vessel, there's a space to fill it up, and you can fill it up with anything. And that has to do with your heart and your mind in this course, going along with that infinity, never-ending, looping cycle of positivity, love, tenderness, and compassion for yourself and for other people. Welcome to the course of Design Your Mind to Be Kind. I am so glad you're here with me.